So Southside is an incredible producer that has worked with almost every major artist that you can think of, like Future, Lil Baby, Travis Scott, Ken Carson and many more. So today we're going to analyze his production style to understand why his beats hit so hard. And if you want to learn everything, make sure to watch all the video, because I'm going to reveal some sauce, so let's get into it. You already know that Southside loves to use these hard synth melodies, but some of his biggest hits included real instruments, like in this song with Playboy Carti. As you can hear, the main melody is made with a piano with a lot of effects on it. So to recreate that vibe, we just need to create a catchy melody with a piano. So I used this piano from Analog Lab and I laid down this simple melody. So this melody is really simple and repetitive, but it's perfect if you want to create something catchy. In fact, here we just use the E minor scale, and the trick here is to use these two notes that are only one semitone apart, and they're going to create a lot of tension. I'm just using 3 notes in this melody, but sometimes simple is better. So on this, of course, I added some effects because I wanted to change the sound of it. So I added an EQ, Stereo Shaper with the Stereoize 3 preset to make the sound of it more wide, and Portal with this custom preset. So basically I just pitched it down 1 octave. This is fire, but we need to pitch this up 1 octave. Okay, that's better. Okay, I like that, but this is just the foundation of the beat. Now of course we need to add some other elements to make it sound full. In bassing with Doughboy and Lil Uzi Vert, we can hear a catchy violin melody. So now we need a violin phrase that we can tweak, so I went in my new upcoming kit called Phoenix and I used the phrase 12. On this I felt like we needed to add some effects, so I decided to pan it on the left, add an EQ to cut some of the low end and some of the high end, some reverb to push it in the background, and a delay too. Usually you don't add a delay on violins, but here we have some slides and it makes it sound crazy. Okay, I like that, and now the beat is starting to sound fire, but of course we are missing that classic synthy pad that Southside loves to use. So I went into this plugin from Arturia, and I needed to find a strange and different sound, so I opted for this one. As you can hear, the sound is always changing and it's not static, and that's really important because when we are going to flip it, it's going to sound insane. And I laid down this melody. Now also this pattern is really simple. I just used a minor chord and then I moved down 1 semitone this G, creating a suspended 2 chord, and this is creating a lot of darkness. Here at the end I wanted just to create some variation by using the root note and again the F sharp pitched up 1 octave. Of course we needed to add some effects on this, so I started with an EQ. I added also Fin Micro, that is the free plugin, adding a pitched up delay. And I wanted to add more bounce to it, so I added Kickstart. This is a sidechain effect, but it works good also on melodies. This is pretty fire, but it's kinda basic, so I wanted to flip it. I reversed it and resampled it a little bit in the playlist. That's pretty fire, and the melody is starting to sound more full, but if we want to create that Southside vibe, we need an even faster and crazier synth. So I went in the Stellar Accent from the Nebula Multi Kit and I added this phrase. Okay, I like this, but I wanted to take it to the next level, so I created a pen automation. And I added a chorus and a flanger to change the sound of it. Okay, I really like this, and to be honest, we could add some crazy drums on this, but Southside melodies sound perfectly blended together like in I Swear. In this case you can hear that there are different sounds, but you can't really understand what every sound is doing, because they are perfectly blended together and sound like a part of a bigger thing. To recreate the sound, I made a quick arrangement with some different parts and I rendered it, so now we can tweak all the instruments together. My favorite strategy to tweak them is just to open them in Fruity Slicer. Now here I just messed around with this time stretch fader and I turned it at around 150. And as you can hear, now it sounds a little bit different. And another thing that you can do to blend your instrument together is to add some effects on the whole sample. So first of all I added gross beat. This is adding like a reversed effect at the end. And I added this tape machine VST with a warm preset. So now it's sounding a little bit detuned and sounding like a sample. So I rendered it again and pitched it down and this is the result. Sounding crazy. Okay, now this melody is finished and we can move to the drums, but before we need an intro, because it's often present in the Southside beats. For example, in tweaking we can hear that the intro is in a different key than the actual beat. So to replicate that sound, I just used the first render that I made. Ooh, the drums will go crazy. So as a clap, Southside uses a lot this perk that sounds like a rim, like he did in Stimulus Jack and Bassin. So I decided to layer two sounds from my Nebula Cosmic Drum Kit. I used this perk with this snare. As you can see, I kept the pattern really simple, and that's good because in this way the artist will find easier to open this. For the hi-hats, he uses really sharp ones, so I used these ones and laid out this pattern. As you can see, it's really simple, but it's adding a lot of bounce. A trick that is really common in this beat is just to remove one note and add a roll under it. And the best spots to add the rolls are before the clap, that is here, and here right after the bar starts. And of course, make sure to click Alt-R to randomize the pen and the velocity of your hi-hats. Okay, you already know Southside adds a lot of bounce in his beats. To create that, he always uses a snare and one or more hats. So I started with this snare. In trap beats, this is the most used spots for snares, and it sounds really bouncy, but in this case I completely used a different pattern because that's what is going to make it sound more unique. And at the end, of course, I added a roll, and to make this I used the 1/3 step. Then of course it's time for the hat. Also here, a way to create bounce is to place it right before the clap too, and here one is playing with the clap, just to create some variation. Oh, and a really common trick is to make the sound stop before the clap. To do that, you can activate the envelope, move everything down except from the hold. Okay, now it's time for the 808, and we're going to use the spins like Southside, and this is what I laid down. As you can see, I added a lot of rolls. I used again these 1/3 step rolls, and the trick here is to use the 5th note of the scale. Like for example, we could add also one here. It always sounds good, so you can go crazy with that. Then at the end I went kinda out of key, but we have no bass notes in this piece, so basically we can use the notes that we want as long as they are in the scale, and this going up is adding a lot of energy at the end of the bar. And yeah, to make your 808 sound better, I suggest you to boost the volume of it. Right now it's at 3 dB, and I route it to a different mixer track where I have a soft clipper. In this way it's clipping before affecting the other melodies, so the mix will sound more clean. Let's put an acapella on it. Real niggas, you ain't with the opposite. Deals what you want, that's why they call it in your motion. So hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, remember to drop a sub, like and comment, and check out this video if you want to make the craziest beats.